Thomas, and I play the drums in Meshuggah. And, well, that's pretty much what I do. I'm also the lyricist of the band, or not the only one, but like, I guess the main lyricist of the band as well. So that would also be one of my functions, I guess, you know. That's always really hard. I mean, first of all, we see it as aggressive music, and basically that's it. But of course, to a lot of people, there's more to it than that. But it's a complex kind of music with a unique sound and approach to rhythm, I guess. No, well, I don't know. It's one of those things that's it's fun to get that kind of nomination, but at the same time, I don't think it's so much about me as it is about the fans. Like, if you have a lot of dedicated fans, they're the ones who vote. You know, it's not a jury that sit and like choose which ones are the best. And looking back at the readers poll from that magazine or any magazine, it's not really about who is better than the other, but it's definitely a strong indication of how your fans are and how dedicated your fans are, because they're the ones who vote, you know. So what is really cool with it is that normally you would have to be a band that sells hundreds and hundreds of thousands of albums or millions of albums to even show up there, because obviously a band like Metallica or Slayer, they have a lot more fans than we do. So, and they also have very dedicated fans, so I guess our fans are even more dedicated. That's pretty much what it's about, you know. No, the fans are of course very important, because they're the reason we can be out here and play to people and sell albums. So they're the ones that, you know, make us, you know, make our living for us, you know, kind of. So of course in a lot of ways the fans are the most important thing in what we do, but we don't necessarily have a very strong outgoing side of ourselves towards the fans. I guess we are, and I think you kind of touched on that subject too, that we are a bit secretive, as we're not really present in videos, we're not really present in a lot of photos, in the cover artwork and such. So in a way, we're also kind of reclusive and not outgoing in a lot of ways. And that's not that's not a deliberate thought from our side to not be in touch with our fan base, because we really want to be that. But at the same time, just as you were saying, the music is kind of cold and not very human in that sense, that it's very mechanically written and kind of mechanically performed as well. And in that sense, I guess that kind of comes together with who we are as people as well, and that we're not very outgoing people, and not at all the most social band in the world. We are very much like we stick very much to ourselves and to our own. But what we, of course, whenever we have fans that come out to us and want us to sign stuff and want us to meet them and such, we always try to do that, of course. Yeah, you're right. It's definitely another percussive instrument, and we don't use there's not a lot of dynamics in the vocals. They're pretty much like full on the whole time. Yeah, very monotone, and through the years, that's kind of what we've come to like about ourselves and our own music too. that there's monotony, even though there are changes that make the music sound like really weird or intriguing or very thought through, and it is, of course. But at the same time, that monotony is also something that we've always been like intrigued by, and from earlier. When we were younger, listening to more like industry-related things, and we've always kind of liked the mechanical sound of what we are. That's like one of the main themes in our music, is the very mechanics of the sound, so to speak. I haven't listened to them myself. I know our bass player. He listens to some stuff like that, but it's not something that's present in our influences. And in a lot of ways, Metallica, for examples, is a lot bigger an influence on us than jazz is. And you're very correct in that our music is not at all improvisational. It's all like everything's pretty much hammered out, and we play it exact same way each night, you know. And the reason why we come back to naming influences like Anthrax and Metallica and Slayer and bands like that is it's not because we feel that we sound anything like them, but those were the type of bands that we were listening to during the years when you take in influences. Because nowadays we try deliberately to really shut out like outside influences, and we try to just be our own entity. And that's why as soon as we mention influences, that's 20 years ago, when you're an influential a kid who really takes on influences. And that's kind of where we shaped the early Meshuggah from that, like listening a lot to metal, because that's what we grew up with. And since then, we've kind of drifted further away from actually taking on influences, or at least we try not to have outside influences. But you can't go through life without influence. So, I mean, you're totally influenced by everything. My life is influenced by being here with you now and in this cafe. So it's important. It's impossible to keep influences out, but we try not to have audible influences in our music. And that's why we keep mentioning the bands that we were influenced by, you know, when we were younger. So.